The next time you find yourself crammed into a middle seat, getting annoyed about legroom or a delayed flight, I want you to just keep this in mind. Because, and I mean this, you have absolutely no idea how good you have it. So let's get into it. We're about to count down the deadliest ways people ever got from point A to point B, trips that make your daily commute look like an absolute luxury vacation. To really appreciate this, we gotta go back. I mean, way, way back. We have to rewind right past the era of powdered wigs,
and keep going, past the age of knights in chainmail and gloomy castles,
all the way back, past the mammoths, until we find one of your distant ancestors. Picture them, squatting in the dirt, maybe chewing on a beetle, and their only goal for the day is just not dying before the sun goes down. And this right here, this gets to the heart of it. You're not just lucky to be alive. No, you are the result of some seriously violent coincidences and just incredibly stubborn biology. Your very existence is a statistical miracle, built on a foundation of ancestors who stared down odds that would make any of us just curl up and give up. Yeah, that ancestor of yours, they didn't have shoes, they didn't have a name, and they certainly had no idea that you, a descendant with a pretty serious snack addiction and a mild caffeine dependency, would ever exist. So let's take a look at what they and others had to go through. All right, let's kick off the countdown of the absolute worst, most deadly ways to travel in all of history. Coming in hot at number 3. That's right, the scurvy cruise. We're talking about those first attempts at trans-oceanic travel. See, booking a trip on one of these wooden ships, that wasn't a vacation. It was basically buying a lottery ticket for a floating, months-long nightmare. Just try to imagine it. You're stuck for months on a damp, rotting ship with hundreds of other people who have, let's be honest, zero concept of personal hygiene. You're packed into this tiny, filthy space, and there is absolutely no escape. Now, you might be thinking, well, at least it wasn't the Black Death, right? Well, not so fast. While these sailors didn't have to worry about plague-infested fleas, they had their own special menu of horrors. We're talking severe scurvy, starvation, and yeah, when things got really desperate, literal cannibalism. And the scurvy, oh man, we're talking about vitamin deficiencies so severe that your gums would swell and bleed and your teeth would literally just rot and fall out of your head. The thing is, this was a nutritional disaster on the exact same scale as the hardships faced by the very first farmers. It was brutal. And as unbelievably awful as that sounds, believe it or not, it gets worse. Let's move on to our number 2 deadliest way to travel. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the wild, wild west of transportation, the early days of the steam train. Back at the start of the Industrial Revolution, people would climb into these metal carriages that were powered by what were, for all intents and purposes, giant, rolling, high-pressure bombs. So, to really get the terror of this, you have to know about something called the Brazen Bull. It was this truly monstrous execution device from ancient Greece. They'd lock a person inside a hollow bronze bowl, light a fire underneath, and, well, they'd literally cook them alive. It's pure nightmare fuel. And that, right there, is exactly the risk these first train passengers were taking. With zero safety regulations, these boilers were just ticking time bombs. If one little valve failed, if the pressure got too high, boom! The engine would explode, spraying shrapnel and superheated steam everywhere, instantly boiling the crew and passengers alive. Your train ticket was a gamble that your commute wouldn't turn into a high-speed brazen bowl. And now, we've arrived at the number 1 spot, the single most dangerous, most ill-advised, and frankly, the most suicidal form of travel in the history of humankind. The deadliest way to get around is, you got it, the gravity gamble. We're talking about the absolutely bonkers early attempts at hot air ballooning. This was long before safety checklists and parachutes. No, this was just pure, chaotic risk-taking from people who decided they were gonna conquer the sky, or die trying. And I'm not exaggerating here, these pioneers literally strapped themselves into a wicker basket attached to a giant bag of either highly flammable gas or just hot air. A single spark, a strong gust of wind, a tiny tear in the fabric, and you were either a fireball plunging from the sky or just plummeting thousands of feet to the ground. You were playing Russian roulette with gravity itself. Think about medieval castles. They had this special kind of dungeon called an oubliette. It was just a deep, dark hole. They'd drop a prisoner in, and that was it. No way out. You were just forgotten.
a truly terrifying fate. But here is the critical difference. This is what makes ballooning number one. Unlike a prisoner who was thrown into that oubliette, these early aeronauts chose this. They actively, willingly signed up for a trip where the odds of a horrifying, fatal fall were just astronomically high. Which, of course, brings us all the way back to you. Back to your slightly cramped, climate-controlled, miraculously safe aluminum tube hurtling through the sky. So the next time you start to feel a little impatient, just take a second and remember what it took for you to be here. The scurvy, the starvation, the explosions, the terrifying falls from the sky. Your boring, safe trip is the miracle that generations of your ancestors survived for.
Really puts things in perspective, doesn't it? Suddenly, a 1-hour delay seems like a pretty amazing deal when you realize the alternative could be getting boiled alive or having all your teeth fall out. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button, before natural selection does its thing.